It's Kim Beer here with Make It Happen Monday. One thing you can do this week to better market your business. Today, I want to talk to you about wowing your customers. So that's kind of a theme around here this month is to really work towards teaching my clients and those who follow me about how to create a customer experience that's memorable, repeatable, and very shareable, which is where the marketing component of that comes in. So, a lot of us tend to think of marketing as more of the advertising statement of putting things out there for people that draw them into our business. But marketing really is the whole package. It's the package of that entire process that happens from the very first touch when a customer sees piece of your advertising or meets you, all of the way through the referral process, which brings customers back into your business. So that experience that a customer has when working with your business is truly integral to the marketing process. So let's break that down just a little bit. Let's start with your business. You have a new customer come in and you provide them with that wow experience. Now, that wow experience is unique to your business. And there's exercises that I'm going to give you here in a moment to help you really define that experience in a way that makes it a very important part of your marketing process. But just know that for now, that experience is the first thing that they have with your business. Now, they may have found you in a multitude of ways, but now you've provided the experience. The next step, and this is the step in modern marketing that kind of was absent from years past, and that's where you entice them to stay in touch. When you entice someone to stay in touch in this instance, what we're doing is we're asking primarily for that golden goose, which is their email address, so that we can communicate to them on a more intimate level through email marketing. But we also might want to let them know that we have a Facebook page, or to follow us on Instagram, or to become part of our Pinterest, or to subscribe on YouTube, wherever it is that you are placing your business in front of customers out there on social media or digitally. Or you might also invite people back in an actual physical way if you have open houses or events or classes or anything that you're doing. To help that communication to stay when the customer is not in that actual sales process, which happened up there in the providing of the wow experience. So you're going to entice them to stay in touch. Again, I want to restate this because I can't seem to state it enough, in that when you entice people to stay in touch, you're enticing them to continue a relationship with your business. And the best way for you to maintain that relationship is through email. Email is more effective, and it is also something that you own rather than building your marketing on rented land, such as in Facebook. That's a nice new metaphor that we keep hearing a lot about. But social media is fantastic. I am all for social media marketing. But what I'm telling you is that if you can collect that email address, you have a more intimate connection with that customer that is going to help the rest of this process happen more smoothly. So go for the email address, and then also let people know other places that they can stay in touch with you, whether those places be online or offline. All right, so now once we've enticed them to stay in touch, now we're going to engage them. So here is where the work comes in for you. That provided the wow experience probably took a little bit of work for you, but that's your bread and butter. That's what you're in business about. The asking people to stay in touch part can feel a little uncomfortable, but the engagement part is where a lot of business owners start to go, I don't know what to do. Well, there's a lot of things that you can do here. Content marketing was our subject du jour for January. And if you kind of missed out on that, you can go back and go through all of the trainings that I did in January. Because content is how you're going to engage people. That vague term is really something that stands for all of the things that you give to people, whether it's how-tos, so how to use your product, whether it is inspiration, whether it is a discount, whether it is white papers, statistics, step-by-steps, maintenance information, or industry news. There's a multitude of things you can do here, but the important part is that you stay engaged with the customers that you meet, because two things are going to happen from that. One, those customers are going to come back to your business, and two, they're going to share those things. They're going to talk about them because you have become top of mind with them. That's another term we hear a lot, top of mind. And that's another thing email marketing is really effective at giving you, because even if someone deletes the email without reading it, they still have to have an interaction with it. So they still remember that you're out there and that you provided them with that awesome experience. So again, email marketing is really important. So back in that enticing to stay touch part, that's where you want to gather that email address. And then you want to regularly communicate with your audience, both on social media and on email. And if you do have live events or engagements that you do, then that live component is also beneficial in keeping people engaged and getting them to bring their friends into that experience, which brings those new prospects back into your business so that this cycle can start all over again. So this graphic looks a lot like an infinity symbol because it is. It's an infinite way for you to put new customers in your business in a very effective way. Because when those new prospects come back in from those folks that you've engaged with, that you stay in touch with, that referred you, those people come back in with a mindset to make a purchase. They come in at another level than someone that you just placed an ad in front of and now comes into your business for a sales experience. Those prospects that come through this cycle in either the new prospect or after they've been engaged, they're kind of already pre-sold, which makes your sales process a whole lot easier. So we're going to concentrate today on that very first step in this marketing process, which is providing that wow experience. A lot of what I do other than in teaching marketing has to do with the enticing and the engaging part, but that wow experience is the foundation for those other things to happen for you. So it's the very first part of this cycle of infinite sales. So let's talk about how you can work this out to create that wow experience for your customers. The first thing I recommend, and if you have pushback for this, it's not a necessity, but if you will do this, this exercise really is beneficial and helpful. And every person that has done this at my suggestion has had an enlightening experience with it, and that is to write a customer experience vision statement. So a vision statement is just where you imagine things the way that you would like them to be. And this is in a perfect world. It doesn't have to be the world you exist in. Don't let those buts, but this or but that, interfere with your writing of this vision statement. You don't have to share it with anyone. This is your vision statement, and you can put it into action without ever having to share it with anyone. So don't worry about syntax. Don't worry about your grammar. Don't worry about spelling. Just get it down on paper. So here's the exercise. From the point of view of your customer, write down everything that happens in the sales process from the first touch. So from the point of view of the customer, so you are the customer, how did you find out about the business? What did you see? What was your first reaction to what you saw? How did that make you feel? How many touches did it take for you to actually walk into the building? So if you did the customer interviews from last month, you might be able to see where some of the touch points happened with your customers, and you can incorporate that into this experience statement. So those videos, for those of you who are watching this kind of out of the time that it was published, are back in the Make It Happen Monday playlist. So if you go back and look, there's some really simple customer interviews that are about 4 videos behind this one. So I recommend that you go back and watch those. So that first touch all the way through the sale process. What was it like if you have a physical location for your business? What was it like when you walked into the location? What did you notice first? Maybe go outside of your physical business and walk in yourself with your eyes closed, and then open them and see what it is that really catches your eye right out of the gate. This is a truly enlightening experience, by the way. If it's where you don't have a storefront, what was the first phone call like? What was the website like? What are all of those things that happened through the sale? And then what is the follow-up procedure? Did you get any emails out of the situation? Would that have been beneficial if you would have? Again, those customer interviews start to play a component in being able to create this customer experience vision statement. So think about follow-up. How much easier would it be if you sell a product, if that product came with some follow-ups, with some common frequently asked questions that and the answers thereof inside of an email right when you needed them? I had a client who had a fairly complicated equine product that took a little bit of know-how to use, and their number one reason for returns was just simply because people didn't position it correctly on the horse. Hey, you know how great it is when you receive an email like 2 days after you purchase something that says, are you having trouble with this? Maybe you want to look at these frequently asked questions. Or do you have questions about your product? Here are some answers. So follow-ups. Then you also want to look about, how did you go about sharing your business with your friends and referrals? So from the point of view of your customers, you're going to write down what opportunities were you given to create social media posts and referrals to bring those new prospects back in. Now, again, this is imaginary. It's fantasy. It's so that you can think about every step along the way in your vision statement. And it doesn't have to be reality. In other words, if you don't have a follow-up procedure in place, now's the time to think out from the customer's point of view, what would that follow-up procedure be? And the same thing for the sharing and the referrals, for the first advertisements, for walking into the business, for viewing the website, all of those things. Think about those items from your customer's perspective. Now, when you have that vision statement written, go back and perfect it. How can you make those things really wow your customer to go, oh man, they just did that and that was so helpful to me, or that was above and beyond. And a lot of these things you can automate. So the next step in the process is to manifest the things you need to make the customer vision statement, experience vision statement happen. Is email a part of that? Is social a part of it? In other words, do you thank your customers on social media? Do you put a picture of them with their new purchase out there? Maybe they receive a postcard. Maybe it's an email, like I mentioned with my client who had some answers to frequently asked questions, or just wanted to check in to see if everything is good. What kind of follow-ups would really, really work for your customers? And can you automate those? And the answer to that question is generally yes, you can. You can create a set of automated emails that will go out when a customer makes a purchase. Then you just slide their name onto that list, and they'll get 4 or 5 automated emails, or 3 or 2, or whatever it is that you work out in your customer experience vision statement over time to help them through that particular process. And on to step 3, which is empowering your customers to become your evangelists. So you want them to become marketing evangelists. You want them to tell everyone about their experience with your business, to say, hey, I had a great experience. Even if you're a nonprofit, this is an important thing. So let's use a nonprofit example. Somebody comes and volunteers for your organization. You follow up with them through email. They have a really good experience in the volunteer process. So now they come back out and they say, wow, I really recommend you volunteer for this organization because they're really organized. This was just amazing. I had a great time. My volunteer experience was fantastic, and I want to go back and do it again. And I'm going to bring my friends with me. So empower your customers to feel comfortable in going out there and referring you, not just from the perspective that they absolutely love your product or service or nonprofit, but also because they have the tools to feel comfortable doing so. Affiliate programs also fall into this category. So that's where you will actually give them marketing information and maybe even a little kickback for bringing customers back into your business. That's a topic for another day, but that's an example of how empowering your customers to become your evangelists can be an awesome way to get new business into your business. The next step is simply to just repeat and improve. So your original customer experience vision statement may not match where you finally land in 6 months or a year or 3 years, but over time, it gives you a place to start and then a place where you can keep repeating that experience, keep repeating the follow-up, keep repeating what works and removing what doesn't, and improving that process as you go. So, your challenge for this week is to start at least thinking about how you can create a really wow customer experience and then capitalize on that by enticing your customers to stay in touch with you, really engaging with them through email, through social, through events, follow-ups, postal mail, automation, all of those things, and getting those new customers back into your business because you empowered the customers that you currently have to go out and become evangelists for your business and bring back those new prospects. Thank you guys. Have a great week, and I'll see you next Monday.